Hi, wally.sears with Berkshire Hathaway in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm going to go over this Northeast Florida relocation guide that a lot of you are asking for. It's got super good information of what Metro Jacksonville area has to offer, where are the good places to live, tells about the different neighborhoods, different areas in and around Jacksonville, basically what it's like to live, work, and play here in Jacksonville. And so I'll give you my opinion about a lot of the points that it makes in this nice relocation guide. So here's the Northeast Florida relocation guide. It's what we send out to people that are moving to the Jacksonville area and they want to just get more information about what it's like to live here. This is a picture of the Jacksonville Beach Pier out in Jax Beach at sunrise. A lot of people will come out here and do their morning walks or whatever. It's also a good surf spot. So let's dig into this and get started. This is interesting. This is a map of Metro Jacksonville. That's the perimeter highway that goes around Jacksonville. And the I-95 goes through it this way. So if you were going Miami to New York, you'd come up and you'd take the perimeter around this way instead of going through downtown Jacksonville and continue up. This is Interstate 10. This goes from Jacksonville all the way west, all the way to California, to San Diego. And then if you go south on 95, it goes down to St. Augustine, which there's a star right there. We have an office down there. And we even have one in Palm Coast. So anyway, I-95 goes all the way down to Miami, as you know. Those stars are all the Berkshire Hathaway offices around Jacksonville. And that's the St. Johns River, goes right through Jacksonville. And then the Intercoastal Waterway runs along the coast right there. That goes all the way from the Keys all the way up to Maine, this Intercoastal Waterway. If you have a house on right on the Intercoastal, you can see boats coming by. In the fall, they're heading south. In the summer, they're heading south. No, I'm sorry. In the summer, they're heading north. They're going up to the Northeast in their boats. And in the winter, they're heading south, going down the Intercoastal, down to Miami and the Keys and into the Caribbean and whatnot. So let's see. 10 reasons why we love the First Coast. Number one is the beaches. And that's true. In this picture, you can see people riding horses. That's up in Nassau County, up on Amelia Island. You can rent horses and ride them on the beach. It says that they call it the First Coast, has more than 1,100 miles of shoreline. That's including the waterways, the Intercoastal, St. Johns River, and the beach. There's 22 miles of actual beach shoreline. So we have a really big beach. Gives people the opportunity to get into the water and all the things you can do in the ocean: swim, surf, kayak, fish, sail, kiteboard, boogie board, skimboard. I mean, there's all kind of cool water sports you can do in Jacksonville. I don't know if you know it or not, but there's a really good nationally known kiteboarding area right here in Jacksonville. It's actually near this beach. It's a Huguenot Park. If you're a kiteboarder, you probably know about Huguenot Park. It's a good place to kiteboard. Outstanding dining. We do have really good restaurants all throughout the city. Exclusive entertainment. They're talking about the Jacksonville Center for Performing Arts. We have concert venues and ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena for concerts and special events. This is the Museum of Modern Art right here. That's a really cool museum. So that's downtown Jacksonville. There's the Museum of Modern Art and also the Cummer Museum or Downtown Art Museum. So if you like, we got really good art museums. Number 4, year-round sports. NFL team, the Jaguars. Here's a picture of a Jaguar game. Those are really popular. A hockey team, the Jacksonville Icemen. We have a minor league baseball team, the Jumbo Shrimp. And we also have, it says, the Players Championship Golf Tournament. That's a really big draw. That's out at the beach in Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra. And then we also have the Gate River Run. That's kind of like our kind of the New York Marathon. We have the Gate River Run. Gate is a local company started by Herb Payton. You'll see a lot of Gate gas stations around Jacksonville, and he's the lead sponsor of the Gate River Run. It's a 15K race. It's a lot of fun. It goes over the 2 bridges, I think, in downtown. So that's a thing to do if you like running. Also, Gate Corporation owns the Ponte Vedra Club, the Lodge, Deerwood Club, and the River Club downtown. So that's a good company. Charming neighborhoods. We have a lot. Jacksonville's big, and we're going to talk about how big Jacksonville is. And there's a lot of different neighborhoods, everything from historic, older neighborhoods. Here's an old oak tree. This is in downtown Jacksonville. That's probably, I think that's Riverside. Downtown Jacksonville has some cool old historic buildings with old houses. Avondale, Ortega, Riverside, San Marco. Here's a picture of Jacksonville. So those neighborhoods are right in here. Ortega's down here, Riverside, Avondale, and then Springfield is up in here. So those are in-town neighborhoods, historic. And then you have the newer neighborhoods, but they're everything in between too. Excellent education. We have a lot of colleges here. Jacksonville is really a college town. Jacksonville University, University of North Florida, Florida State, down in St. Augustine, which is considered in Jacksonville metro area as the Flagler College. There's even 2 seminary schools here I didn't even know. So you can go to seminary college too. Edward Waters College, another one. Cutting edge healthcare, that gets a star. There's actually medical tourism. People come to Jacksonville for the Mayo Clinic primarily. There it is, one of the 3 Mayo clinics in the country. One of them's right here in Jacksonville. MD Anderson Cancer Center is here. St. Vincent and University of Florida Health are all here in Jacksonville. Super good medical facilities. Wolfson's Children's Hospital is a nationally acclaimed children's hospital. That's in downtown Jacksonville. Another reason, impactful military. Here's a Navy ship that's docked downtown. They do tours of this old battleship. But we have Naval Air Station Jacksonville. We have Mayport Navy Base. Just over the state line in Georgia, we have Kings Bay Submarine Base. That's really cool. Sometimes if you're up in Amelia Island, you can see the big subs go out into the ocean. That's quite a sight. We have Camp Blanding Training Center. It's a military base. So there's a big military presence in Jacksonville. It's a big employer too. What's this niche shopping? Believe it or not, Jacksonville has some really good shopping here. We have one of the best outdoor shopping centers. It's called Town Center, and it rivals what you might see in South Florida and Miami. Bustling business. It's a great place to do business. This is downtown Jacksonville. And Jacksonville is really good if you're for business, as far as opening a business, starting a business. And good employers too, because of all the schools. Here's a picture of living in downtown Jacksonville. That's the St. Johns River. This is the River Walk. It's a pedestrian walkway that goes along the banks of the St. Johns River on both sides of the river. Metro Jacksonville, what does that mean exactly? So Duval County is Jacksonville. The whole county is the city limits of Jacksonville. That's why it's so big. And these other counties make up Jacksonville: St. Johns County, Clay County, Baker County, and Nassau County to the north. Nassau County has Amelia Island. You probably heard of that. Fernandina Beach. St. Johns County has Ponte Vedra, the golf tournament. St. Augustine is down here. St. Johns County, when people move to Jacksonville, a big portion of them are moving right here to St. Johns County. Some of the best schools in the state are right here in St. Johns County. And also super nice new neighborhoods. One of them is Nocatee, and we'll talk about Nocatee. Clay County, they also move here. A lot of good new master plan communities in Clay County. These two take the lion's share of new people moving to Jacksonville. Baker County's kind of is west of Jacksonville, west of Duval County, and that's more country, bigger kind of farmsteads or people that want more space. So that's definitely country. Nassau County's sort of a mix. You have some luxury high-end Amelia Island over here, and then Nassau County has that kind of country element too, similar to Baker County out here in western Nassau County. Yeah, so the airport is right up in this area of Jacksonville. But Nassau County, it's got good schools, and there's some good, big, nice master plan communities right up here in this section of Nassau County. Here's a picture of some townhouses in those master plan communities. That's kind of what they look like. This talks about Baker County. It's funny, there's the Baker County sign, and you can see trees. It's out in the middle of the country. There's a country road right there, 2-lane road. And here's a picture of a Baker County house with pine trees. So it's definitely country. It's got, tells the cities: Glen St. Mary, that's a small country town. McClenny, it's a nice little country town. So that's, there it is, idyllic town. Yep, that's it. That's something to consider if you want some land. Clay County, that's one of the top two, St. John's and then Clay. That's a good kind of what Clay County is. Here's a picture of these new master plan communities. Here's another picture of a master plan community. They got nice parks out there for kids. Let's see what it says about this. Clay County, southwest of Jacksonville and west of historic St. Augustine. Diverse mixture of suburban neighborhoods and up-and-coming communities. The up-and-coming communities are things like Fleming Island. Fleming Island is a huge master plan community, and it encompasses Eagle Harbor, which is really nice, Fleming Island, Plantation, and Pace Island. Those are all nice master plan communities. They have great amenities, swimming, fitness centers, tennis courts. They're really good. And then there's another one, Green Cove Springs. That's in Clay County, a little bit farther out. That used to be out in the country, and now it's a bedroom community of Jacksonville. There's a new master plan community. It's 290 acres. It's called Granary Park. That's something to see if you want a good value and you don't mind living that far out, but it's a great place. 770 single-family homes are going to be built there. That's a great, and it has, see there, high-end amenities, clubhouse, pool, fitness center, playground, dog park. These are cool places, and there's lots of them. There's another one, Governor's Park. And then also in Clay County, Keystone Heights. That's another little city, lakeside community of Keystone Heights. Keystone Heights is full of old town charm. Yeah, that's tree-lined streets, cozy cottages, plenty of underdeveloped land. There's a lot of, that's out in the country, a lot of lakes out there. Oak Leaf Plantation, another big master plan community, really big. And they have everything from apartments, townhouses, little starter homes up to big homes, big nice homes. 6,000 acres, that's a big place. Oak Leaf Plantation sits on more than 6,000 acres of land that includes a dedicated nature preserve of almost 1,500 acres. So that's a big one. Here's another one, Greyhawk. That's another master planned 800-acre master plan community. That's out in Clay County. Here's another one, Eagle Landing at Oak Leaf Plantation. That's a big one. Nice. So that's all Clay County. Here's Orange Park. Picture of Orange Park. That's an old town. That's now a crowded, it used to be out in the country, but now a lot of people live in Orange Park. It's on the river. That's a lot of people like living in Orange Park. Middleburg, that's a little bit farther out, located in near Black Creek. Middleburg's kind of out there. Get more for your money out in Middleburg. Duval County. So Duval County can also be Jacksonville. So it's Duval County / Jacksonville. It's the same thing. Here's a picture of Duval County right there. And the picture they use, that's actually a beach. Those are beach houses. That's right on Duval Drive out in Jacksonville, at Jacksonville Beach, right on the coast. And there it is, Duval and the beaches. So the beaches, if you move to Jacksonville, a lot of people want to live at the beach because they're in Florida. They want to live at the beach. These are the beaches. They run north to south in a line. Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, Jacksonville Beach, and then Mayport. Mayport is actually the north one. If you start north and go south, it's Mayport. Then you go south to Atlantic Beach. I live in Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, and then Jax Beach. And then south of Jax Beach is Ponte Vedra. Ponte Vedra is in St. Johns County, just over the line. But each of these beaches has different personalities. Atlantic Beach and Ponte Vedra Beach are two kind of bookends of the beaches. Ponte Vedra on the south, Atlantic Beach to the north. You can think of it as like Atlantic Beach is like the upper west side in Manhattan, and then Ponte Vedra is the upper east side of Manhattan. Or in Paris, Atlantic Beach would be the West Bank, and Ponte Vedra is on the other side of the river. So Neptune Beach is right next to Atlantic Beach, and that's a good place to live too. It's more of a family. It's the smallest of the beaches, quiet. Jax Beach is more commercial, more bars and restaurants, a younger crowd. It gets definitely more crowded in Jacksonville Beach. The Jacksonville Beach Pier, what we saw on the cover of this, that's the pier right there in Jax Beach. And then Mayport, that's really small. That's where the ferry is. So you can take a ferry when you're driving up to Amelia Island or Nassau County. You can take a little car ferry. That's a fun thing. And it's right next to Mayport Navy Base. So it kind of gets noisy with all the helicopters flying around. But good pricing, and it's an eclectic little fishing village, Mayport. Other communities in Jacksonville, Arlington, Fort Caroline, that's good pricing there. It's an older community. North side, that's up on the north side of Jacksonville. The zoo is up there. The airport's up there. River City Marketplace, that's a big retail center. Ocean Way, that's a little community up there. These are the Trout River. That's a little offshoot river from the St. Johns River. But that's good pricing up there, a little bit less expensive on the north side. Duval South, Intercoastal West. I gave it a star, Intercoastal West. A lot of people live here because they like it. It's close to the beach. They call it Intercoastal West because you're on the west side of the Intercoastal, not on the beach side. You're just over the bridge. So you're super close to the beach, but you're on the other side of the Intercoastal, so the prices are better. And you're also very close. See, this says John Turner Butler Boulevard, or JTB. People call it JTB, or Butler Boulevard. That's the big east-west corridor to get from Jacksonville or I-95 out to the beach. There's no red lights or stop signs, so it's quick and easy. So people like to have access to J. Turner Butler Boulevard. And these communities on Intercoastal West, on Hodges Boulevard, this is Kernan Boulevard, Jacksonville Golf and Country Club, or Glen Kernan. These are nice upscale neighborhoods, gated. Pablo Creek Reserve, Mayo Clinic is all in this area. A lot of doctors that work at Mayo live right in here. A lot of Jaguar football players actually live in this Glen Kernan neighborhood. And it's just right over the Intercoastal, so it's super easy to get to the beaches. And this says easy access to town center areas. Town centers, that really nice shopping district is really close. They're talking about also this Intercoastal West area. They're talking about, where is it? Tamaya. That's a new master planned community that just opened up. That's really nice. Not too far from Intercoastal West, Mandarin is also on the south side of Jacksonville. Super popular, but also crowded. Southside Bay Meadows, that's kind of close to this intercoastal west area as well, kind of right next to it. A lot of gated communities, townhouses, condos, apartments. Southside Bay Meadows is convenient. That used, back in the 70s, Bay Meadows, Southside was a hip area. Now it's definitely matured. E-Town, that's a master plan community that's very popular. And it's also got a, 55 and over community in E-Town. It's really nice. And they're planning to put a surf park here with artificial waves. That's going to be a booming place, E-Town. And it's centrally located, brand new homes. Nice. This is out over in Mandarin. That's Julington Creek Julington Creek Marina right there. There's also a nice restaurant there. Let's see, what is this? Seven Pines. That's also kind of right in that intercoastal west area. I like Seven Pines. I give it a red star, white star. 1,000-acre master plan community, 1,600 homes. It's right off J. Turner Butler. You can see that near, where is it? Right, I-95 and Butler Boulevards. It's really close, so that's good. You can get, when you're right there, it's easy to bam to the beach, in town, get out to I-95. Once you're on I-95, you can go north to the airport and up to Charleston, or south on 95 down to St. Augustine and all the way down to the Keys or Miami. But yeah, Seven Pines is one to look at. That's a really well done, nice place, great location. Town Center is right next to Seven Pines. Gave that a star too. A lot of people like to go there. St. John's Town Center, that's a great place for condos and shopping. It's one of the best shopping districts in the state, believe it or not. It says many college students like this area, Town Center area, because there's condos and apartments, and it's close to University of North Florida. University of North Florida is right there. That's a nice place. Duval West and downtown. So Duval or Jacksonville downtown. Downtown has, you can be downtown. There's not much really, honestly, downtown, truly downtown. There's some condos down there and some apartments, but it's not really something that most people want to live downtown. You can live next to or very close to downtown in these cool areas. I would live here, Riverside, Avondale. I gave it a star. These are older, historic neighborhoods. Really cool oak trees and good bungalows, old big houses right on the river. A lot of shopping, art galleries, nightclubs, boutiques, cafes, coffee shops. If you like in-town older neighborhoods, these two are cool, Riverside and Avondale. And then here's Springfield. Springfield, founded in 1869. That's the oldest neighborhood in Jacksonville, and there's some really cool old historic big homes in Springfield. Similar to this, you see these oak trees, a lot of old oak trees, and they even have red brick streets. And there's a house in Springfield where Oliver and Hardy, the comedians back in the silent films, Jacksonville, I don't know if you know it, was the silent film capital of the United States back before Hollywood. Jacksonville was Hollywood, and they made a lot of Hollywood films here in Jacksonville, and all those movie people lived in Springfield. Tamaya, that's that master plan community. There it is right there. That's a typical Tamaya neighborhood, kind of intercoastal west. It says vibrant life between the city and the sea. So it sits right between the ocean, the beach, and Jacksonville, kind of downtown Jacksonville. So it's got a good location. There's a picture of the point at Tamira. There's the swimming, the fitness center, the community center. That's a cool place. What is a 5,000 square foot fitness center. That's what that is right there. State-of-the-art amenities, indoor, outdoor pool, lakes, walking and hiking paths. It's really close to the University of North Florida, which is cool. It's got the Residence Club. That's a 10,000 square foot residence club with a cabana lounge and chairs. That's kind of fun. If you go north, Nassau County is like up by Amelia Island, Fernandina. Here's a aerial picture of Fernandina. That's a cool town. I go up there a lot. That's the main street in Old Fernandina. The Palace Saloon, the oldest bar, or one of the oldest, between Sloppy Joe's in Key West and the Palace Saloon right here. Those are the two oldest bars in the state. So if you like old historic communities, this is Fernandina Beach, and then St. Augustine. They're both very similar. They both have old forts. They're both on the water. They both have a lot of history, and they're both very old cities. And they both have really cool scenic drives going up south along the coastal drive, A1A, to St. Augustine, or north on St. Augustine, take the ferry, and you drive up to Fernandina. They're both really cool. You should definitely check it out. So Nassau County includes Amelia Island, Fernandina Beach. Amelia Island is the island, and then Fernandina Beach is the town. There's Fernandina and Fernandina Beach, much like Jacksonville and Jacksonville Beach. Amelia Island is known for big-time popular vacation spot. Also has a lot of nice golf courses. The Ritz-Carlton is up on Amelia Island. It's got really nice, the Omni Hotel is up there. It's really nice up there. I like Fernandina a lot. And then when you go kind of west of Nassau County, you get into the country. Callahan, Yulee, Hilliard. These are out west, kind of definitely country, but they're brand new communities all out in there. One of them is this Wildlight. That's really nice. If you want good bang for your buck, and you'd be north of Jacksonville, kind of close to I-95 or easy access to 95. Check out Wildlight. Brand new and really, really nice. It's got a Del Webb in there. That's a super nice 55 and older community. So they have 4 neighborhoods within Wildlight. Forest Park, Hawthorne Park, Founders Park. They're really nice. Biking trails, hiking, amenity center, what do they call them? Water parks. Yeah, check out Wildlight. Put a star by that. Then you come into St. Johns County. This is the one I gave it a star right there. This is where people primarily move to when they're moving to Jacksonville. This is a picture of St. Augustine. That's the Bridge of Lions down in St. Augustine, which is in St. Johns County. But this is where they move. When they move to St. Johns County, they move right here to Nocatee. I'll give that a star. Nocatee's big time good, super popular. It's like one of the top 3 to 5 best communities voted in the United States. Primarily because of the education, great schools, all the schools from kindergarten all the way up to high school, public, super good schools, the best in the state. If you look up best school districts in Florida, you'll see St. Johns County, and if you Google this Nocatee, you'll see how good it is in all aspects, livability, affordability, education. And then around Nocatee, there are these other ones that are really just as good as Nocatee. Maybe as good, but are close. Julington Creek, big master plan community, super nice. Here's another one. Shearwater is down by St. Augustine. That's not too far away. St. Johns County, really nice. Durbin Crossing, super nice. Those are master plan communities. Here's a picture of Durbin Crossing right there. And all these places in St. Johns County have great schools. What else is here's some more about Durbin Crossing. Pavilion at Durbin Crossing. large mixed-use development, 1,600 acres. That's big. This Silverleaf is brand new, really nice. South of Nocatee. That's a cool one to check out. And there's all kind of price points in these. Silverleaf. Rivertown is a great one. Aberdeen is a good one. Beach Walk is really cool. Beach Walk, the big thing about Beach Walk is it's got a artificial lagoon, a 14-acre lagoon with a white sandy beach. If you look at pictures of it, it looks like you're in the Keys or in the Bahamas or something. And it's got a swim-up bar, a beach club. I was kind of, at first when it was being built, I was like, who's going to go to a fake beach? But then I went out and visited it, and dang, it was nice. You can paddleboard out there, kayak, fish. It's got super nice tennis courts. I played tennis there. They're soft courts. They're lit. You can play at night. They got a great fitness center, super nice beach club. I mean, that's a cool place. That's one to look at. Beach Walk, look that one up. Beach Walk, St. Johns County, Florida. Big star on Ponte Vedra Beach. This is where I grew up and primarily do a lot of business here in Ponte Vedra Beach. This one is a great one. I call myself a Ponte Vedra insider because I grew up here in Ponte Vedra, went to elementary school here all the way up. But anyway, Ponte Vedra's high-end golf and tennis kind of gated community a lot, but old Ponte Vedra is not gated. They're just old, cool houses in Old Ponte Vedra Beach. And if you look at houses there, they're on the higher end price-wise. You know, a tear-down lot in Old Ponte Vedra of like $5 million. And then oceanfront, Old Ponte Vedra on the high end would be $25 million, $28 million, something like that. But every house in Old Ponte Vedra is either on the golf course, on a lagoon, on a combination of those two, or on the ocean. There might be just a handful that are not in one of those areas. Golf course, lagoon, which is like a lake, or right on the beach. So that's one to really check out, Ponte Vedra Beach. And if you're a golfer, the Ponte Vedra Golf Club, wow, super nice. And then within this Ponte Vedra Beach area, there's Sawgrass Country Club, Sawgrass Players Club. That's where the Tournament Players Championship is. Here it is. See, it's TPC, Tournament Players Club, Sawgrass Stadium Course, where the Players Golf Championship is held every year. That's the big deal in Ponte Vedra. And there's also Marsh Landing. That's a gated golf, tennis, country club. The Plantation at Ponte Vedra, gated golf and tennis, super nice. Really, everything's close to the beach. So this is all good. And you're in a fantastic school district. PV High, Ponte Vedra High is the high school. And that is a brand new or newish, like 10 years old high school. They have great tennis teams, golf teams, really good. Everything, baseball, basketball. I went to a few basketball games there, and you should see their facilities. It looks like a college. It's really nice. So you can go to a private high school in Ponte Vedra and save the $60,000 a year from sending your kid to a high-end private school in town like Bowles or Episcopal. And honestly, Ponte Vedra High students end up going to the same colleges as the $60,000 a year Bowles and Episcopal students do. St. Johns County also includes St. Augustine, much like when we were looking at Fernandina, old historic city with a fort, and it's on the water and a lot of history. San Marcos National Monument, Leitner Museum, the old lighthouse, and that's all in St. Augustine, Florida. And then out, you go over the Bridge of Lions, and that takes you out to St. Augustine Beach, which is the beach community of St. Augustine, kind of like there's Jacksonville and Jacksonville Beach. But St. Augustine Beach has some nice little residential areas to live on the beach or very close to the beach. Also in St. Johns County, the neighborhoods of World Golf Village, kind of like a Nocatee. It's made up of several different neighborhoods that make up the World Golf Village. Some of them are gated, like the King and the Bear. King and the Bear is one of the high-end communities there. Big, as you can imagine, World Golf Village, so a lot of golf there and tennis, but mostly golf, and good schools, and all your amenities are there, the shopping and dining and all that, banking. We were talking about St. Johns County, and here it is, communities of Nocatee. And Nocatee is the big daddy. That's the one where everyone wants to be. That's the picture of the water park, the kids playing at the water park. People like Nocatee because of all the activities and the super nice schools, very high-end schools that I was talking about. You'll be going to Nice High School if you live in Nocatee, and that's where Tim Tebow went to school. Played football there for Nocatee. Nocatee has two of these Del Webb communities. These are 55 and older, but the two Del Webb communities are unbelievably nice. Here's the guard gate into Del Webb. It's gated. You wouldn't believe the Anastasia Club if you visit this Del Webb. It's like an incredible amenity center. I mean, it's like a full-on 5-star resort kind of thing. But Nocatee has all these neighborhoods: West End Center, Franklin Square, Palmetto Cove, Woodland Park, Settlers Landing. I mean, there's dozens of them. The Reserve at Nocatee. Look at this, nice. So here's Starling at Nocatee. Those are townhouses over there. So there's so much to see in Nocatee. You could, 2 days of looking around at Nocatee. People love the lifestyle here. A lot of people have golf carts, and there's golf cart paths. A lot of times they don't even use their car. They just go in their golf cart for their school, take their kid to school, pick them up in the golf cart, take them to school in the golf cart, go to Publix, shopping, groceries in the golf cart, go out to eat. So Nocatee, that's one to definitely consider when you're looking in St. Johns County. These are just advertisements. Here's this is kind of interesting. Home sales comparison. San Francisco is like 1.6 million average price. Jacksonville's right here, 398. We're like half the cost, less than half of San Francisco, half of San Diego, Denver. We're way less than New York, less than Austin and Phoenix. So 398 is kind of our average. Realistically, it's going to be more than that for one of these nicer planned communities, or a good house in a good neighborhood. But you can get some decent ones for $398, and I'll show you right here. Look at this. McClenny, that's the one out in the country, $310. Orange Park, $353 average. Green Cove Springs is kind of out in the country, but nice, $374. Way up here, Ponte Vedra, that's the one, the fancy gated golf course communities and really nice school district right on the beach. 881,000 is the average. So San Marco, that's right here, 495 average. That's a cool in-town neighborhood right on the river in town, Jacksonville. Here's a picture of our downtown. That's the St. Johns River. And there's the Main Street Bridge. Some people call it the Baby Blue Bridge. We have 7 bridges that go across the St. Johns River. This is all, depending on what county, Nassau County, Duval County, who to call for your utilities and things like that. Let's continue flipping through here. It's got good information. Libraries. Here's the thing, volunteer opportunities. There's a lot of, when you're just moved to town, if you volunteer for some of these organizations, United Way, Nonprofit Center of Northeast Florida, Rotary Club, Mayo Clinic, Nemours Children's Hospital, the Junior League, the Lions Club. One of the ones that I like for young kids or even young adults is the HEAL Foundation, and it's for autistic kids to learn to surf. And every year for 2 days we go out on the beach and we have a surf camp, and we always need volunteers to help teach these autistic kids how to surf, and they just have the best time coming out to the beach. And you don't have to know how to surf, you just have to have a good attitude, and we tell you everything you need to do, and you're in waist deep water the whole time, small little waves, so no one gets hurt or gets in trouble. And we get the kids up, the autistic kids, to ride their first wave, and they just have a blast. And then we have a party afterwards. So that's a good way to meet people, meet cool, fun people. I like this, driving stats, because people are like, well, Northeast Florida, Jacksonville, how far is that to Atlanta? Basically, Atlanta is 346 miles, takes about 6 hours. Takes about 6 hours to get down to Miami as well, going south on I-95. Pensacola is about 6 hours. That's a long drive going west on Interstate 10. Here's Miami. Look at that, Key West, 500 miles. That's a long drive. But kind of day trips, easy trips are fun. Tallahassee, 164 miles. That's an easy one. Savannah, Charleston, those are easy. Orlando, a lot of people, here's Orlando, 141 miles. Some people will use Orlando Airport to fly in and out of. It's not that far of a drive, and there's a lot of flights into Orlando because of Disney World. This is funny. Look at this. Here's a picture of Jacksonville, which is Duval County. That's the county line of Duval County, which is all Jacksonville. And this is saying how many major U.S. cities can you fit into Jacksonville? You can fit Boston, Miami, San Francisco, Pittsburgh, Washington, D.C., Manhattan. You can fit all of that into Jacksonville. And Chicago. You can fit all of that into Jacksonville. That's how big it is. So depending on, you got to choose where you live carefully, because if you live here and you work way over here, or you work way over here, that's going to be a long drive. So figure out where you want to live, because the commuting in Jacksonville is not that fun. That's the Main Street Bridge right there. This tells about what the weather here. I'm going to tell you right now, the weather here is hot. And it's hot, and it's humid. So just be aware. These guys are in short pants, flip-flops. That's kind of the dress code in Jacksonville, casual dress code. But interesting, I don't use my air conditioner. I turn off my air conditioner in November, December, January, February, March, April, May. And then I battle with my wife. I try to go to June 1st. But we usually have to throw in the towel and turn on the AC in mid-May. But you can go almost half the year with no air conditioning in the winter. So it's not that bad. So June, July, August, September. Really, July, August, September are the hot ones. Right now, this is July right now, and it's pretty hot and humid. So you sweat. If you go out and mow your own lawn, you're going to be definitely sweating. You'll have to take a shower afterwards. Also, weather, big thing right here, hurricanes. Hurricane season, June through November. So everyone's worried about the hurricanes. The hurricanes can be bad. They can be really bad. They can flatten a city. For whatever reason, Jacksonville dodges a lot of hurricanes. And the last direct hit we had was back in 1964. Some people say it's the curve of the state. And if you look on a map, Jacksonville kind of, the whole the East Coast kind of bends right on where Jacksonville is. So hurricanes tend to go by us. They hit Charleston and Savannah more than Jacksonville, or they hit farther south. But we can still feel the effects of it. And that's why it's good to have flood insurance and of course, homeowners insurance, which is a requirement when you have a mortgage. So be aware of that. I've lived here all my life. I've rode out hurricanes, and a lot of times the media makes it more than it is, but you definitely got to be careful. What is this? Education. Okay, talking about the schools. Honestly, St. Johns County has the best schools. Clay County, good. Nassau County. Duval is, I would say St. Johns County, I said 1. I ranked them 1, 2 for Clay County, 3 for Nassau, and 4 for Baker and Duval, 5. And look it up yourself. Type in best school districts in Florida, and it shows a ranking. And I think Jacksonville's not dead last, might be in the middle, but St. Johns County and Clay County, they're always up at the top 10, at least, sometimes top 5 in the whole state. A lot of these are private schools. Look at all, these are all private schools. I have this one, Episcopal High School, and the Bowles School right here are the 2 top big, nice, super good, high-end high schools. If you're going to send your kid to a private high school, those are the 2 you want to look at. This one is also good. Jacksonville Country Day School. That's a really good one too for, I think that's more middle school. Here's a whole thing on the Bowles School. And you can board there. So you can, they have dorms there. And it's an international, here's a picture. They have international students, a lot of Asians, Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, Europeans. It's a really international mix at Bowles, and they have a great athletic program, super good soccer team, great tennis and football and golf team. I mean, they have, here it is, 14 Olympic athletes from Bowles School have won 29 medals. I mean, there's big time sports people coming out of Bowles. They have a super good sports program there. Here's a big full page ad for Bowles School. There's the happy students. Here's all the international language saying welcome. There's Jacksonville Country Day School. A little bit, I think that's young, like middle school. That's a good one. Really good private school. Jacksonville Country Day School, really good. Ballet, hands-on. These are all this. They also have charter schools, charter public schools that are really good. If you don't want to send your kid to a private Episcopal Bowles type school, you can send them to a charter public school and get a fantastic outcome with a charter school. They also have Montessori and Waldorf schools. My kids went to Waldorf schools, and they turned out great, I think. And they went to Waldorf as a younger student. That's interesting. Program for learning disabilities. If you have learning disability kids, these are all for learning disability. So there's a lot of resources for that. That's a picture of Flagler College down in St. Augustine. That's a private school. They have good, there's even a conservative theological university. There's 2 seminary kind of theological schools here in Jacksonville. There's another one, Trinity Baptist College. I didn't even know that. University of North Florida, that's a great college. Florida State College of Jacksonville. So there's a lot of colleges. First Coast Medicine, a healthcare destination. That's UF Health on the north side. They just built that facility, really nice. Ascension, St. Vincent's on the river downtown. And of course, Mayo Clinic is in Jacksonville. So a lot of hospitals, big time healthcare destination. So much so that we even have medical tourism here. They all come. They want to come down to Mayo Clinic and get their services. Here's the Nemours Children's Hospital. We also have Wolfson's Children's Hospital, which is nationally known. It's like one of the top ones in the country for children. Here's, oh, here it is right here. Wolfson's Children's Hospital. That's their main building, brand new, really, really nice. This is the Mayo Clinic new building, and they're still building onto the Mayo Clinic. It's a beautiful campus. I mean, it's worth going to Mayo Clinic and just walking through some of these buildings. It's gorgeous. MD Anderson Cancer Center is here. Just for seniors, a lot of people will come to Jacksonville for retiring. The Del Webb communities, there's several Del Webbs within Jacksonville area. These are 55 and older communities. And you can get a lot of bang for your buck in Jacksonville. And like I said, the medical is huge in Jacksonville. A lot of retirement communities. And this is about business. Great place to do business. These are the, let's see, business by category. Okay, this is interesting. The top 50 employers, you'll see a trend. First is Naval Air Station. That's military. Military is a big employer. And then number 4, number 3, Naval Station Mayport, military. 14,000 people at Mayport Base, 21,000 at Naval Air Station Jacksonville. And then second would be medicine, Baptist Health, Mayo Clinic, Ascension St. Vincent, UF Health. These are all medical. Hospital, HCA Memorial Hospital, 2,000 employees. So medical and military are two of the big ones. And then another big kind of category is this finance, Florida Blue, that's insurance, CSX Corporation, Gate Petroleum. We talked about Gate Petroleum. They're the ones that own Ponte Vedra Club, Deerwood Country Club, the Lodge Club in Ponte Vedra, the River Club, downtown Jacksonville. That's a great company. And they're the lead sponsor to that 15K Gate River Run. And you'll see all the Gate gas stations in Jacksonville. Here's another financial, JP Morgan Chase. These financial things, those Bank of America, these are kind of back office operations centers in Jacksonville. And they're mostly on that south side, kind of intercoastal west, town center, Bay Meadows area. More insurance, Aetna. Here's another hospital, FIS. That's financial services, Wells Fargo, Credit Union, Everbank. Those are all financial services. Crowley Maritime, being a port city, we have a big maritime industry component. A lot of people work in the maritime industry, the container ships and things like that. And I was talking about the banking industry, financial services, Ameris Bank, Bank of America, Capital City Bank, Chase, Deutsche Bank, Citibank, Everbank, Fifth Third Bank. They all have big operations here. And it keeps on going to this. There's ViStar Credit Union. They got a building there. Florida Capital Bank, Wells Fargo, Regions. Yeah, there's a lot of them. And then IT is another big category. A lot of AT&T, Availity, CSX Technology, Beeline, Newfold Digital. These are all big IT companies. And like I was saying, they're saying more industries making an impact on the First Coast. They call each, we call this the First Coast, and then down where Kennedy Space Center is, that's the Space Coast. And then they have the Treasure Coast and the Gold Coast. So each kind of section of Florida has a name. A a lot of aviation and aerospace companies are moving here. They're out at Cecil Field, Cecil Commerce Center. Advanced manufacturing. There's a picture of the Navy ship because we have a big naval presence. There's the Navy ships and you'll see a lot of helicopters in Jacksonville flying around. And they fly up and down the coast. It's kind of fun. You can wave at the pilots as they go by. I was talking about the maritime industry. You'll see a lot of these container ships. If you take the ferry going across the St. Johns River, you'll see these container ships go by, and you can see them out off the coast a lot. And when you go over the bridge, the Blunt Island Bridge, you'll see these container ships loading up. Let's see. Here's two maritime workers. They're unloading. That's a ship. You'll see a lot of these container ships. You see that ramp going up? A lot of cars come into the port on these container ships, and they drive on, drive off on that ramp. Brand new cars. Let's see. Here's a picture of downtown Jacksonville. That's I-95 going across the river. Going up either I-95, you can go up to New York or down to Miami, and it goes right through downtown Jacksonville. We actually have a little tram system downtown. No one really rides it, but sometimes it's good you can take the kids to ride on it, and they kind of like it. It's kind of fun. And we got an airport. The airport in Jacksonville is easy, man. I like going to the airport. It's easy in and out. Small. It's not like a big city airport. It's an easy airport. We also have this Craig Airport, Jacksonville Executive Airport, Craig Field. If you have a private plane, it's right in town. Mid-size aircraft. And we also have where the one down in St. Augustine has a little airport for private planes. Here's a picture of the ferry. That's fun. Little outing. Goes from Mayport, and then you go across, and you're on the other side of this is the St. Johns River. You go across, and then you can continue on up to Amelia Island. That's a really fun thing. It's $6 for a car. $6 each way. And then it's right by the Mayport base. Cruise ship stock here. You can take a cruise. And this is fun. Jacksonville has so many bridges. Here's the Acosta Bridge. It lights up at night. They call it the Bridges of Northeast Florida. There's another bridge. That's the Bridge of Lions down in St. Augustine. That's pretty to go at night. Buckman Bridge. This is where a lot of people get in accidents on the Buckman Bridge for whatever reason. It's just, look at that. It's a straight line. Just stay in your lane. You won't have a problem, but for whatever reason, people get in wrecks. They freak out on the Buckman. And when one car goes down, it blocks everyone else. Dames Point Bridge. This is a big suspension bridge, and it connects Arlington kind of to the north side. That's kind of a newer bridge. When you're going over this one, it's fun to look over the side, and you can see the port of Jacksonville with all the container ships down below. Here's the Fuller Warren Bridge downtown. That's an oldie. Right in downtown. Here's the Hart Bridge. Not too many people use the Hart Bridge, but it's a bridge. It goes over the St. Johns River. These are all St. Johns River bridges. Here's another one, the Matthews Bridge. That's an old one, built in like I think the 60s. You can see the downtown Jacksonville in the distance. That's over the St. Johns River. And then you can see the Hart Bridge over here, and then downtown is the Main Street Bridge down in there. Here's a picture of the Florida Theater. That's a great historic theater. That's where Elvis played his first concert. Back to the bridges. That's the Baby Blue Bridge, or the Main Street Bridge, or people call it the Main Street Bridge. John Assault Bridge. No one calls it that. But anyway, Florida Theater, that's a great place for concerts or events. There's not a bad seat in the house. Really cool place. They just renovated it. It's nice. Here's a picture of Jacksonville Beach, kind of at sunset. You can see how wide the beach is at low tide. There's a lot of room here. And this is Jack's. You can tell this is Jack's Beach because it's got all the high rises. When you go farther up north, Atlantic Beach and Neptune Beach, they don't have these high rises. That's Jack's Beach. Another bridge. People, that's the intercoastal, people fishing there. Tons of marinas and a lot of big sailing community here. If you like to sail, there's a good little sailing club called the River Club on the St. Johns River, and you can either keep your boat there or rent day sailors, catamarans, have a really fun time sailing on the St. Johns River. Here's a picture of the marshes. That's kind of the intercoastal, or one of the little rivers or creeks in the marshes around Jacksonville. It's great for fishing, snapper and redfish. There's a park ranger. You wouldn't believe how many parks, state parks, and around here. Bathurst State Park, Ocala National Forest, Jennings State Park, Okefenokee National Wildlife Refuge, Goldhead Branch State Park, Amelia Island State Park. I mean, look at big Talbot Island State Park. That where that canyon is, it's the intercoastal waterway, and that's in Fernandina Beach up there. But Fort George Cultural State Park, I mean, there's tons of them. If you like parks, there's a lot of them here. These are all park. A lot of hiking trails. This is near, remember where we saw those horses on the beach? That's up in this area. You can see the shells, those oyster shells along these trails. And yes, it gets hot in the summer. I'm just warning you. If you're a car enthusiast, you know what Brumo's Porsche is, and that's a museum of Brumo's Porsches, or Porsches and Brumo's. So that's a really cool place to go. That's Intercoastal West. People love going here, and they rent this place out for events if you want to have a corporate event here. What else we got? These are things to do in Clay County, Baker County, kind of out in the, what else? There got these Civil War reenactors. This is Fort Clinch Park, and they got an old fort up there. Here's the fort in St. Augustine. That's something cool to do. That's the Atlantic Ocean out there, and that's the inlet coming in. That's a tricky inlet. If you come in on a boat, there's all kind of shoals out there, but a lot of sailboats are all out in here, and that's a fun old castle, old fort to walk through. That's right in downtown St. Augustine. Here's the Leitner Museum in St. Augustine and the old lighthouse. St. Augustine is definitely one to go to. So this section of this relocation guide is the things to do. Here's the museums. Here's some people sitting in that Museum of Modern Art. Here's the Cummer Museum, and they call it Cummer Museum and Gardens. You can see these gardens under the big oak tree. Beautiful, classic art museum. That's one to see. Kind of theater productions, entertainment. We have really nice venues for the arts. Ballet, symphony, Broadway shows. That we got really good places to see that. Here's the band shell, kind of out at the beach in Jacksonville Beach. They have music festivals, and they hold up there. We got a nice, nationally acclaimed zoo. Really nice zoo here. What else we got? Here's that Gate River Run, the 15K. We also have the Donna Marathon, a really nice marathon that is held once a year. Goes through all the neighborhoods. Jacksonville Jaguars football. Believe it or not, we have a really good bunch of good skate parks. If you have kids that like to skateboard, we got really good skate parks. We got a pro hockey team. We even got a minor league baseball team and a nice new baseball park for that. Here's a big college team of the Florida Gators versus the Georgia Bulldogs. Florida-Georgia game, huge event once a year. And they play that in the same stadium as where the Jaguars play. This is a list of all our pro teams. NFL, Jacksonville Jaguars, the Jacksonville Sharks, National Arena League football team. The Armada is a pro soccer team. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp minor league baseball. Jacksonville Icemen or hockey team. They talk about the runs and walks. They have the marathon, another marathon, Ameris Bank Marathon, and then the Jacksonville River Run, which is right here. Tea time on the First Coast. You remember I talked about the golf tournament? That's the Island Hole, the TPC golf tournament. That's really fun. A lot of people like to go to the golf tournament once a year. Top 10 golf courses in Jacksonville. These are all nice. Here's the Tournament Players Club. And a lot of these are cheap too, like Hyde Park, that's inexpensive. Blue Sky, that's cheap and good. Timaquana, that's a great club in town. Timaquana Country Club, if you can play that one, that's a fun one. And if you live in town in Ortega, Riverside, Avondale, that's a club you want to join. Jacksonville Golf and Country Club, that's out in Intercoastal West, closer to the beaches. Deerwood is in South Side. San Jose is in South Side. World Golf Village, that's down in St. Johns County. Eagle Harbor. It's funny, they don't even have a Ponte Vedra. They don't have Marsh Landing. They don't have Plantation. So top 10, I don't know where they get the top 10 from, but there's a ton more golf courses that are good. Fishing. A lot of people love to fish. You can fish on the beach like this guy. A lot of people surf fish. And these are fish on the First Coast. Catfish, cobia, sailfish, trout, snapper, bluefish. And talking about all the water, boating, jet skis, surfing, kayaking, canoeing, boogie boarding, kite boarding. And like I said, kite boarding, there's a nationally known place to kite board called Huguenot Park. And it's up there by Mayport Naval Station, and that's a great place to kite board. And that just talks about shopping. This is kind of fun. Restaurants. First off, all organic grocery stores. We have Grassroots Natural Market, that's in town, down in Riverside. Grassroots, that's good. Native Sun, that's in Jacksonville Beach, that's really good. I shop there a lot. Publix even has the Greenwise Market, that's in Nocatee. They have organic foods. Sprouts is a organic natural food. Fresh Market. Trader Joe's. We also have two Whole Foods, one in town, kind of in Mandarin, and one at Jacksonville Beach. That's where I shop a lot, at the Jacksonville Beach Whole Foods. Dining, write this one down if you're in town. San Marco, BB's, really fun, good place to go. What else we got? Chop House, I was thinking this. Brick in town. Avondale, Avondale's a good place to live. Old historic in-town homes. Brick restaurant. If you're lucky enough, you can walk to that restaurant. Really nice. Calford Chop House downtown. Great steakhouse right downtown. Really cool old building that they renovated. 11 South, that's at the beach. That's a good one. What else we got here? M Shack in Nocatee. There's two there's M Shack in Nocatee. That's a good one. That's a burger joint. Matthews in San Marco. San Marco's that nice in-town neighborhood, and that's a fancy, nice restaurant. Matthews Restaurant. Salt in Amelia Island. That's a big, good, nice one. That's in the Ritz-Carlton. Got to go to Salt if you're up on Amelia Island. River and Post. That's in Five Points. That's in Riverside. They call Five Points as a little community in Riverside. That's a fun, trendy, kind of hipster restaurant. Restaurant Madure in Ponte Vedra Beach, high-end, really, really nice. Neptune Beach, Restaurant Doro, Stars. Those two are really good. Neptune Beach, Doro, that guy that owns that started it, he was Matt Lauer's private chef. and that's a good one to go to. My wife actually did the interiors to Restaurant Doro, and you can see that's a fun restaurant to go to. Witt's Frozen Custard, Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, Orange Park, St. Augustine, World Golf Village. Witt's Frozen Yogurt, it's basically, ice cream, and really popular. People love to go, especially the one at Atlantic Beach where I live. People go there after dinner. Orsay is a good one, high on people's list. That's in Avondale, in town, old neighborhood in Jacksonville. Orsay is really good. Mezzaluna, another one right at the beach, Neptune Beach, all these restaurants that are in Atlantic Beach and Neptune Beach, they're within walking distance of each other. Joseph's is just a casual pizza place. Mezzaluna is an Italian restaurant. They have brick oven pizza and great Italian food. Cafe Andiamo, that's in Ponte Vedra Beach in Sawgrass Village. That's really good. I like eating there. I get the pasta Andiamo when I eat there, and you can eat inside or outside. All the V pizzas in Fernandina, Fleming Island, Jack's Beach, Ponte Vedra, those are great. V pizza. I get the cauliflower crust pizza there. I don't know anything about these guys. Burrito Gallery downtown, that's fun, Mexican place, very casual, fun. Another one in this Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, little restaurant area, Flying Iguana, that's a fun restaurant, Mexican restaurant. Hawkers, another one in Neptune Beach, and they have one in town in 5 Points. That's Asian cuisine, they call it Asian street market food. Not to be confused with the Chinese wet markets. Marker 32, seafood. As you can imagine, we got really good seafood. Marker 32, Intercoastal West area. That's a high-end, nice restaurant. It's in a marina. That's fun to go to. North Beach Fish Camp, really fun. The owners of this have a couple of different fish camps. It'll say North Beach Fish Camp or Palm Valley Fish Camp or Julington Creek Fish Camp. Those are all good. Coop 303, that's in Atlantic Beach, another Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, good fun restaurant. That's kind of high-end southern fried chicken place. Kind of what else we got here? Ocean, wow, they really get into these restaurants. Here's Salt Life, that's a good seafood restaurant out in St. Augustine. This one's fun, Barbara Jean's on the water in Ponte Vedra, and I love going to Cap's restaurant. It's on the Intercoastal. Both of these are on the Intercoastal. Cap's, definitely got to go to that. Beautiful sunsets, great food, really fun to go to. Both of these are fun, casual restaurants. Conch House, fun, casual. It's in a marina in St. Augustine. That's a good one, fun one to go to. Here's another one of those fish camps, Palm Valley Fish Camp. That's a good one to go to, right in Ponte Vedra. If you're looking at homes in Ponte Vedra, go to Palm Valley Fish Camp for dinner. Here's another fish camp in Julington Creek over in the kind of Orange Park, or no, the Mandarin area. Palms Fish Camp, that's another good fish camp. Safe Harbor, this one's good. Let's talk about fresh seafood. It's right in Mayport where the shrimp boats come in. Safe Harbor Seafood, you eat right on the dock. That's a good one to go to. Coffee shops, I like Bowl Bean. They have one in Jack's Beach. I go to that one a lot. I like this Southern Grounds coffee shop. They just opened up one at the airport. And I like this one, Sago. That's in Jack's Beach. That's a good one to go to too. These are all coffee shops. All these are good. But those ones I mentioned, I actually know about. More restaurant. This is talking about the bars. This is Pete's Bar. That's might be the oldest bar in Florida or something, but that's a classic dive bar. If you're out at the beach and you're looking in Neptune, Atlantic Beach, go to Pete's Bar and get a beer just to say you've been to Pete's Bar. That's one to go to. Palace Saloon, that's up in Fernandina on Amelia Island. That's a old historic bar. That's a good one to go to. Here's the Surfer Bar. That's kind of college, 20-year-olds go there. There's the Margarita Hotel, Jimmy Buffett Margarita Hotel in Jax Beach. St. Augustine Distillery, that's a fun kind of beer distillery. They make whiskey here too. It's a really good place to go to. That's fun. A lot of draft rooms, and these are all draft bars. They make their own beer. Intuition, that's Intuition Ale Works. They make their own beer here right in Jacksonville. Here's Fernandina Beach. There's the Palace Saloon right there. You can see it's an old historic building. That's a fun place to go. And it's right on Main Street here. That's a festival going on, probably the Shrimp Festival. Again, here's the Blue Angels. They every year they switch from the beach. They do it. They fly up and down the beach and in town over the river, St. John's River. They'll do the Blue Angels. That's fun to go to. Here's that river sidewalk that goes along the river in downtown Jacksonville. Let's see what we got here. Notes. So this is the relocation guide. This is kind of interesting. All those master plan communities I was talking about, this is kind of, that's Amelia National up in Fernandina Beach from the 500s. That's kind of what it looks like, 3-car garage. Here's Tamaya, we looked at that. Intercoastal West, in between the beaches and downtown. Seven Pines, that's kind of Intercoastal West near UNF, upper 600s. That's a one to definitely check out. Silverleaf, brand new, big, nice master plan community down St. Johns County. Good school system, brand new. Tidewater, really nice in Jacksonville. That's what it looks like, upper 500s. Nocatee, this looks like kind of the townhouses in, townhomes in the mid 400s. Those have gone up from the 400s. They're, I'd say, more 500s. But these are kind of right in Nocatee where you can walk to like the grocery store and the services of the city. That's a kind of a fun place. So bam, that's it. The relocation guide. If you're looking for a house in Jacksonville, hit me up and I'll definitely show you. So that's it, the relocation guide for Northeast Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, and that shows you what to kind of expect and what to be looking for. It's a big city, and I send this relocation guide out to anyone who asks for it. I've gotten a lot of requests for it. It's easy. I send you an e-edition, so I can email it right to you. So comment on what parts of the town you'd like to see or get more information on. I'd be happy to help you out. Thanks.